Welcome everybody to Solomon. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a cipher that has been solved inside the Eisendrache, and this cipher is actually solved by a guy on the Call of Duty Reddit named Certain Personio, so big thanks to him for this one. And if you guys are wondering which cipher this is the one next to the one of his machine in the supply room if you guys want to check it out yourself. So without further delay, let's get into it. First I'm going to read you guys off the actual plain text from the cipher. I meet the reporter who was to deliver the artifact. He said he was going to bring it on his truck in a crate, but when I arrived, the reporter was babbling and acting wildly, waving a letter in his hand telling me to stay away. The crate containing the artifact has been sealed with some ancient magic. When I told him I must have the artifact and moved towards that crate, he attacked me. I acted in self-defense, stabbing him in the chest. The first thing I want to talk about in this cipher is who exactly this reporter guy is, if you guys do not know. So if you're not exactly sure, this reporter is actually very important in Shadows of Evil. He's the guy we heard all the phone booths talking about. If you guys don't know that, the phone booths took the place of radios inside Shadows of Evil. And I want you guys to listen to one of them because I think it's very relevant to this situation.
Hey, Mr. Rat. So I tracked down all the people you asked me to look into. I sent you a telegram with all their details, all their contact numbers. But I gotta be honest, I'm getting nervous. These last 6 months you've had me working like a low-rent private dick. When really I just want to be a reporter. It's not that I'm ungrateful. I know the checks you've given me have been more than generous for services rendered. It's just all this stuff you've had me do. Tracking down ancient artifacts in the South Pacific, finding all these strange metals and rocks in Russia. And still, I haven't even met you face to face. I'm sorry, Mr. Rapt. I think maybe the mood in the city is getting to me a little. Making me nervous. Antsy. Anyway, I'm looking forward to you finally getting here.
From what we can tell from this, the reporter was working for a guy named Mr. Rat, and he had him do some weird things like track down an ancient artifact in the South Pacific and find strange metals and rocks in Russia. Digressing back to the artifact, this was probably the summoning key because in the cipher we hear that the artifact was on his truck in a crate, and it was also sealed with ancient magic. So what else inside Shadows of Evil was on a truck in a crate sealed with ancient magic? It was a summoning key because it was sealed with ancient magic. That's why we can only break it inside beast mode. Continue on with the cipher. It appears that the reporter was supposed to give the summoning key to this person, but something happened to the reporter because when he got there, he was acting weird and waving a letter in his hand, which I wanted to come back to because this letter is very important. We read that he tried to get the artifact, but the reporter attacked him. He acted in self-defense and stabbed him in the chest. Now going back to the letter and combining it with him being stabbed in the chest, in Shadows of Evil we saw this dead body, but we didn't know what it was or what this letter he was holding in his hand. If you guys put it together, you can tell there's a letter in his hand and that there's a knife in his chest. So this is probably this reporter. Also make note of that letter he's holding has the letter M on it, and I'm not too sure how much that is relevant, but again, we can't be sure at this point. So what exactly happened to the reporter? Why did he attack him? Did he just go crazy? Because we heard in the phone that he was getting nervous and it was just not feeling right to him anymore. Or was it something he read inside that letter? We can't be sure as of now. Since we can't really answer that question, let's try to answer a different one. Who wrote this cipher? Let's look at the hints that were given inside this cipher. He knew about the reporter. The reporter was supposed to give him the summoning key. This guy could also tell that it was ancient magic sealing this crate. But why would he know that? How many people know about ancient magic? This is also another very interesting thing. And as a final thing, this cipher is found in Eisendrache, not in Shadows of Evil. How did it get inside Eisendrache? It wasn't in Shadows of Evil. Keep that in mind. It's very important. Try to see somebody who can possibly fit this build. The first guy we can think of is probably Mr. Rat, because if he's your employer, why not give him the artifact? It doesn't make sense. It's like he's the one who told you to get it. Why would you give it to somebody else unless you betrayed him, of course, or realized that this thing was just so powerful that you couldn't let anybody else have it? Just something like that. We don't know much about this Mr. Rat character, which he could also use the excuse of being in Eisendrache because he can be Mr. Rat, but not actually be Mr. Rat. He could be someone else that has actually a Like maybe someone who's from the Eisendrache that is actually a part of Group 935. We can't be sure. Let's think about it. He noticed there was ancient magic on it. Let's assume he did. We don't really care why he did it right now. If he knew about it, what if he waited until the events of Shadows of Evil to happen for it can actually be broken, which would most likely point to the guy who actually took it from Shadows of Evil. And who was that? That was Richtofen. And Richtofen could easily use Mr. Rat as a fake name, and he could easily fit the bill for this guy. My guess is this is probably a young version of Richtofen, and that's just who I'm guessing as of now. Again, this could be a character we've never heard of as of now, but I'm pretty sure that this is probably going to end up being Richtofen. We can't be 100% sure, like I said, but just tell me who you guys think it is, because we did see on that letter M. What if Maxis sent this guy this letter and he started doubting the guy he was giving it to, and that's why Richtofen ended up getting it in Shadows of Evil instead of this guy? That would also make perfect sense too. Tell me what you guys think. It's just super confusing. Of course, if you guys think it's someone different, do you think it's rather Richtofen, or is this the guy that was trying to get it before Richtofen, and then Maxis sent him this letter to confuse him just long enough for Richtofen to be able to get it himself? Tell me what you guys think. A new character, someone else I missed, or is it Richtofen? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.